Let me have some water. Anyway, guys. Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. If it is your first time here, welcome to my channel. I hope that you enjoy yourself, and I hope that you stick around. And if you choose to stick around, please do subscribe and be a part of our little family. If you are a returning subscriber, welcome back, Matzal. Good to have you back, and thank you so much for your love and your support. Guys, you are watching Living Young and Spiritually with myself, Letabopula, and that's the vibes. Anyway, as you guys can see by the title of this video, we'll be doing a reflections video. Basically just reflecting on my year, the ups, the downs, the good, the bads. A summary, but for the most part it's just the goodness of God through it all. Losing, sight of what's important, and God just like bringing me back in line. I really hope I don't cry. So without further ado, guys, let's get into the video. So in the beginning of the year, we went to Sun City, went on like a vacation with my siblings. It was like more like a sibling vacation, no parents and all of that. It was really nice. I enjoyed myself a whole lot, got up to a lot of things, climbed some high ass slide, child. Like, I am a conqueror. Like, I am one brave girl. And I also think, the thing is, I think I like how I want to do something without someone telling me how hectic it is or how scary it is. Like, just be like, don't you want to try that slide? Be nonchalant about it. Like, be very like cool about it. If you tell me, yo, I'm just going to be like, immediately no. So my brother was very smart to just be like, don't you want to do that slide? Only when I came back down, they were legit just like, you did that. I don't know, if I find the video, I will put the video up. But yeah, and all I could remember saying was never again. Like, I just couldn't say never again. I'll never go on that side again, and I really will never go on that side again. That was like the longest fall of my life. It just felt like I was falling off, guys. I was just flying in the air, like, but anyway, I did that. So I definitely feel like I started 2022 on a good note. That was a very fun experience. And then February came, had to basically prepare my school stuff, move out of home. What else? I think, yeah, that was just pretty much it. And then mid-February, I got my appointment date for my breast reduction surgery, which was really just where everything started going. Guys, that was the beginning of my misery. That was the beginning of what was yet to come. That was the beginning. Okay, that was the beginning. And when I think about February, I'm just like, this is probably why God made sure I had the best time of my life and I went on vacation in January, because he was just like, I need you, I need you fully strengthened, I need you fully ready for what's about to go down, because it went down. Okay, it went down. Yay, everything was everywhere. So the appointment was also just like very quick. I didn't expect it to come so soon, so it was just like, oh shucks, okay, let's get that done. I knew that recovery was like, I think 2 weeks, or like, no, it was 4 weeks recovery, like full recovery. But for me to be able to go back to school, I could go back to school like after 2 weeks. So for me, it was just like, okay, at least it's still within the time frame of before school opens. Like, I'll be able to function when school starts and everything will be okay. So I was like, okay, no, that's fine, And also, I think my surgeon wanted to do it because she wanted me to get it done before I get back to school. So I just felt like, okay, great timing, But at the same time, I was just like, I've grown so content with who I am. I fall in love with myself. Like, I'm in a good space. Like, is there something like, and I've really gotten to the understanding that this is how God has created me and this is who God wants me to be. So I really should accept who I am in Christ, and the creation that God made, and I shouldn't, fidget with it. you know, like just I'm in a good space. So but then again, I just thought like this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. Like if really here's the opportunity, that means God wants me to do it, you know. Like guys, I was going back and forth with my head in my head. I prayed about it, and there I was just wishy-washy. And the upsetting, not the upsetting, but the regretful part of it is, at that time I didn't recognize that God is not a confusing God. He doesn't bring confusion, you know. So if I'm confused, then probably it's not from God. But I didn't think about that at the time. I thought, you know what, the devil is just trying to discourage me. He knows how happy I'm going to be about this, so he's just trying to get in my head, you know. And you know, so anyway, I go ahead with the surgery. You know, everything goes well, we think. And then I think 3 days or 2 days after my surgery, while I'm still in the hospital, and it's time for me to leave, the nurses are like, they're not happy with my temperature. You know, my temperature is just like very high. They're really worried about it, and it's not COVID, because they were actually thinking that maybe it could be COVID. So they're like, no, it's not COVID. You know, like it was just a bit stressful, you know. So they couldn't tell what it was, but they was just like, they're not happy with my temperature. She even wanted me to stay the rest of the day, you know, and my mom was like, no, it's fine, she'll take care of me. Cool, we get home and things don't get better. I must travel all the way from Pretoria back to Bloem, right? Things are not looking cute, but we're thinking it's just the pain. It'll die out. I'll be fine. Days go by. My mom's checking my temperature. My temperature isn't going down, and now everything that I'm eating is just coming back out. You know, so we're communicating that with my surgeon, and she's not even replying. So it's just like, yo, guys, it was just like it was a lot, okay. So my surgeon's not replying, and anything that I'm eating is just coming back out. I need to eat because I need to drink my meds, you know. So my meds are even coming out. Everything, guys, is coming out. I drink water, it's coming out. So things like were getting like really bad, and the day before I had to go for my follow-up, no, the night before my follow-up, I was like shivering to death. Like I was shivering the past few days, but it wasn't as bad as it was the night before. Like the night before, it was just really hectic. Like, you guys, I didn't want to be myself that night. You know, I was shivering. I was extremely cold. At the same time, my body temperature was hot. You know, I was on 39. My mom literally made sure I had no blankets on. I had no clothes on. Like, I had nothing on, guys. I was literally, it was so bad. And what hurt me the most was like literally having to beg my mom, like, Mom, can I please have something to wear? I'm getting cold. And she's like, no, I can't, because if I do, I will literally die. Like, can't risk it, you know. And that time there's also just like complications with my medical aid. So the idea of going to the doctor, like, it was just like, you know, I was patiently waiting for the day where I'll be able to go. And she was just praying through it. At the time, guys, I didn't know the extent of what was going on. Obviously my mom is in the medical field, so she really knows a lot, and I just didn't have a lot, you know, in mind about what was going on. Hey, guys, it was so hectic. So finally the next morning I went to my doctor's appointment, and as soon as she opens me up, she's like, oh no. And guys, my mom is also looking. She starts to cry. She's like, oh Jesus. She's like, oh Jehovah. You know, a black sort of woman, when she says oh Jehovah, you know that, yeah. So she was just saying that, she kept on saying that my surgeon is like, we need to take her to theater immediately. I'm like, immediately? Almost, I have to go back home tomorrow. What do you mean? I must go back to theater immediately. They're like, I need to go back to theater immediately. Guys. Yeah, hi guys. And in that moment, I can't see what's going on because I'm lying down and I'm looking up. I look to a corner and I'm like, God, please don't leave me. Because I don't even know what to make of the situation right now. Nurses are in there, my mom's there, like the doctor's there. The faces are just, it's not giving, you know, it's gives. I'm thinking, guys, what's going on? What's going on? So All I can remember is just given medication, being put on a wheelchair. Next thing I'm on a bed, next thing I'm out, next thing I'm in surgery, next thing I'm out of surgery, right? And the funny thing about my breast surgery, guys, I woke up during my surgery, like right before they were finishing. When they were bandaging me up, I started actually waking up, and I was like, this is painful, and I was actually speaking. And so instead of, like, I don't understand, and I'll never really understand that part, because I think they were supposed to read, my anesthetic levels to see like how awake am I, or how far the anesthetic, whatever, how far that thing is. Okay, you know what I'm saying. But I don't know, like, that was just, I think that was the beginning of the downhill in terms of my hospital experience. Like, I just didn't understand, like, why must I be awake, I was only supposed to wake up when I get to like my ward and stuff. So that was just weird. But anyway, I got out the second time of theater, and I wasn't awake during that, so that was great. And yeah, I got out. They took me to theater literally an hour from the time I saw my surgeon. An hour later, I was in surgery. Hectic. So they were just cleaning my wound because I developed an infection. That's what it was. Yeah, and it was septic. So anyway, fast forward, I get out and I have to stay in hospital until my third surgery, until I go back for surgery, where they basically just like stitch my wounds back together. And yeah, the healing process was horrible, guys. Every second day they had to open my stitches. You don't understand the pain, like when you have to remove sellotape from your skin, or like this thing, when you get injections and they patch over like this patch that's just like so sore. When you have to take it off, it feels like it's peeling your entire skin off. So imagine every second day that pain, where there's already a wound that is incredibly painful, and your surgeon is one impatient, horrible, angry, miserable little lady. Old lady, as a matter of fact, guys. That lady's probably in her 50s. I don't want to talk about that doctor because she makes me so angry. I don't want to talk about that lady. She is horrible, horrible, horrible. She's the worst. She's horrible, like horrible. I hope God punishes her in a way that is beyond, in terms of like suing her and everything. That's like something that I am going to do, but I just kind of want to heal from everything first. Like, yeah, it's still very much a sensitive topic. That's actually why I'm just trying to skip through things when it comes to this part. But yeah, she's just very horrible. So yeah, weeks of that, and just like recovery before I went to surgery again, just to get stitched up and everything. And I remember like even sleeping there, guys, it was just so horrible to sleep there. I just felt like I'm seeing funky things. Like, when people say that hospitals are demonic and they have funny spirits, they're so right. They are very right. Like, yo, guys, my spiritual grandmother and the first lady, and my mom and my dad, like, they were forever prayer warriors. Those people would call me and pray in my ear at midnight. My spiritual grandmother would make sure like she wakes up and she prays. My mom is having sleepless nights. She's constantly talking to me over my phone, and I even left my phone in Bloom, so I was using the burner phone just to communicate with my mom. At night she can't sleep. Like, guys, already 4 o'clock, these people are awake, they're praying, they're talking to me. Hey guys, it was bad. Like, I couldn't sleep because there was just really spirits around the place, okay? And whenever I close my eyes, like, I just see really strange things, like really crazy things, bro, like ghosty kind of funky things. So it was very important that like I always stay praying. And then there was an old lady who was also like a Christian lady that came into my ward, and guys, like, that made my day. Our ward only had 2 people inside, so that was also really nice. Yeah, and we pray every night. She'd share the word with me. She made me feel so much better, guys. Like, I felt like I had a mother when my mom's not around. Yeah, and I think like that was someone that God had sent to me. She was also black, and then when she left, another one came in. That's literally how long I was in hospital. Guys, people came in and came out, okay, and I'm just chilling there like, when is it my turn? Like, hello guys, how are we going? How are we doing? You know, people kept on coming in and going out, and it was just not cute. So yeah, it was just, I think, oh, the second one that came was like an old white lady, and like she told me stories about how she met her husband, and just she's just so cute, and she was just such a baby, and she was just like so, such an old, you know how like annoying old people are, but they're not annoying, like they're just so lastig, and they're so panicky, and they just want things in a particular way, you know. She was like that, but it was so cute because it just reminded me of my late grandmothers, you know. It was really so cute to watch, and I think I felt like I was very honored. I felt like God really put the right people in there. You know, after her, it was like some young lady and her kids would come visit, and her one daughter is like lesbian, and she was hitting on me, guys, while I'm on a medical bed. Like, I look like a ghost, okay? I'm skinny as hell. My eyelids, my pupils, whatever, just look so dilated and just white. I just look pale. So I'm just like, this girl, like, girl. And she was, I think she was like in grade 8 or 9. So I think like those things, like God just really, I felt like He was really trying to kind of cushion me through the pain, you know, and just put me on a cloud while I'm soaring through all of this, you know. I'm not walking through everything, I'm just like soaring, like I'm just flying through it all. I'm going through it, but I'm going through it cushioned. I don't know if that makes sense, you know. And in terms, before I actually went to the hospital, before my complications, like after my surgery, within those 5 days I had a dream, and I remember I woke up, and I woke up my parents, and I told them I dreamt of like an old lady that's just passing by, and she's wearing like funeral clothes. So I'm like, in the dream, I'm like, that lady is death, you know. So when I tell my mom, and I told the first lady, and they were like, I dreamt, like, it's the spirit of death, so I dreamt of my own death, but because I dreamt it, it won't happen, you know. So then everything happens, and I have to go back to theater and everything. So that for me was an indication of God saying that was a near death experience, you know. But because He is God, He's greater than anything in the world, you know. He really, he had my back. He had my back. And obviously during the time, guys, it's a very painful experience. Like, it's a 360 psychologically, like, you know, a lot is going on. I'm missing school, like I'm just here longer than I had prepared myself to be here for. Like, it's just a mess. Like, what the hell is going on? You know, and you're just like, what the hell is going on? You know, like my life just like got so interrupted in a massive way, like in an incredible way, and I'm just sitting here and I'm just like, what is going on, you know. The nurses were also really nice, though. I need to say shout out to the nurses. They dealt with my personality. They, you know, because some days like I wouldn't want to talk to anyone, like I just want to sleep until my mom comes and my dad comes, and then I wake up, and then when they leave, you know, I'm back to sleeping. I don't, like, I was miserable, guys. And that was just towards the end, because it was just feeling like, oh, when am I getting out, you know, and the idea that I need to go to surgery again, and then only I'll be able to go home. So it was just like, oh, man, it was just dreadful, you know, and it was long, and I couldn't do anything about that. So yeah, that's just basic. Maybe I'll do like a detailed story time, but like that's basically that in terms of that. And then obviously I started recovering, got back home, and I started recovering. I think a week after, I told my mom I wanted to go back to my place. You know, I want to go back to my place. I want to go back to school. I'd been booked off for like 6 weeks, guys, and like after 3 weeks I went back to school. And I was just like, I'm not doing this. Was it even 3 weeks? I don't know, but it was a very short space of time. I remember, like, I was just like, I can't sit here and just be miserable and accept that this is literally kind of like my life right now, you know. And my parents were talking about maybe I should consider, you know, dropping out of school and restarting next year. And I was just like, this is not gonna happen, guys. This is not going to happen. And I think that resilience and stubbornness, it can work in a good way, you know. Being stubborn is not always like a good thing, but here it really was worth it. Like I was very stubborn, guys. I was just like, no, you know. I spoke to everyone I needed to speak about, my aunts, my brothers. Everyone was just like, we really think you need to take a break. And I was just like, I'm not doing this. You know, I know like I'm very much behind academically, and I don't know if I'm going to survive this, but I'm going. Sorry guys, I keep on fidgeting with my watch. It's bad. Sorry. I'll stop looking down. So yeah, but I was just like, I'm not having it. I'm not doing it. So I'm just going to continue and go to school after 3 weeks. So I went to school. I basically submitted my case to all my lecturers, let them know what's going on, sent all the documents that I need to send, and I started going back to school. I had a lot to catch up on, child. It was worse. Like it was really the worst thing ever. I was writing so many tests. Like guys, I was probably writing 4 tests every week. Those are tests that I missed and tests that I'm keeping up with the class. You know, guys, I have to catch up on previous work, previous units at the same time. Keep in touch with what the class is doing, be up to date with what everyone else is doing. There's like group assignments that are like going on. So I'm here and I'm just behind. Yay, guys, I thought I was coping. And I did cope for the most part, but I coped by something that I didn't think like I'd used to cope, you know, for that time period. So I started, okay, so I moved out and I had like these neighbors and they seemed like really nice girls. Well, they didn't seem like nice girls in the beginning, but I just think like I have the personality, like just you can eventually just realize that I'm not a bad person, you know, and I actually like people and I like interacting. I'm really just a nice person. So yeah, it wasn't like a cute start, but after some time, when I hanged out with these guys, they were like very close to these guys, and it just happened that, oh, okay, well, we all know each other now. It's all great now. Like we're all cool now. Yeah. So that's how I actually got to properly meet up with them. But knowing them to be my neighbors, like it wasn't a cute experience because like they were just not nice people. But anyway, so then we're cool, and they were like hubbly girls, alcohol girls. Like every day there's just liquor in the house, you know. Every day is a vibe. Like it's a party there, you know. They're working online, so they're functioning. It smells like weed literally every 5 hours. Listen, okay. And I don't know, like I somehow warmed up, we warmed up to each other, and we just became friends, I guess, for that little amount of time. And so whenever like I'd write and whenever I had tests, or like right after I wrote, I'd go to them, pop in, because also like they'd knock in to check up on me and stuff, and like invite me all the time. So eventually like I'd just pop in just by myself, you know. And I started depending a lot on Happily to cope. Like I started smoking a lot, to like, guys, to cope, like not to enjoy it, to cope. Like I needed to, like, guys, if I could, I'd probably just super glue the pipe to my hand. That's how bad it was. I always wanted to smoke. If we'd run out of things, I'd like literally make sure I buy, because I really just need to smoke. You know, so I'd smoke happily. I never smoked weed. I'm not a weed girl. Really not a weed girl. It smells like really horrible, and it's not my thing. I don't know. So initially, like, since like I wasn't even in that state, like I wasn't intrigued. I mean it in that sense, to say like it never crossed my mind. Like just I've never just been about it like that. So as Happily, I've had an experience with Happily, and so it was just like, you know, I know how good this thing is. I'm going through more, so let me just have some more, you know. So I was having some of that. Sorry. So I was having Happily, and obviously just drinking from time to time. I don't drink a lot because, like you guys know, I enjoy my wine, right? So even in that time, in that state, under those circumstances, I still did not drink a lot because I just don't like being drunk. Like I don't like the feeling of being drunk. Like of not being in control, you know, and you're just sloppy and you just can't stand still, and like nothing is just in order, you know, and you just look like a mess and everyone's just carrying you, and you just, you know, I don't like that. Like I want to be able to stand up and walk. I don't want to wobble my way through everything. So yeah, that's why I never like drank to that extent, but I did drink. I don't want to lie, I did drink. And eventually my mom found out. I remember the next morning, I think we were going to the mall, and so she came to fetch me at my place, and the previous night I had been drinking, even in the morning. This time, guys, I'm still writing, I'm going through everything academically, like this is first semester already, it's the ghetto, you know. So my mom's like to me, how you smell like alcohol, you know, and I'm like, well, I can't even lie, guys. I didn't even have the energy. Like at that time, I was just moving, you know, when you're just like, I'm just moving, okay, I'm just moving. And it took me a while to realize that I was getting drained psychologically from everything that was going on. It didn't happen like immediately when I'm like, oh shucks, I need help. It was like a progressive thing, you know. And it really all started when I decided, you know what, I'm not going to stay at home and be miserable, and you know, all of that. Like I'm leaving and I'm gonna go continue living my life, you know. I'm not gonna let this drain me, no. But I didn't know that it was indirectly, you know. So during that time, like, yo guys, when my mom found out, I wasn't even like sad. I was just like, yo mom, I don't know what to tell you. I literally said to my mom, I was like, I don't know what to tell you. I really don't know what to tell you. Yes, I've been drinking. Oh, this fly, I really had to open my sliding doors, guys. It's so hot, but this fly is annoying me. So yeah, and then she's like, okay. She's like, you know, how do you feel when you're drinking? And so I think she's just like counseling me for some time. And she didn't react the way that I thought she'd reacted. Instead, she was asking to me, do I not want then medication, you know, get some sleeping tablets to just help me then instead. And I was like, the thing is, I don't want to sleep. I just want to numb whatever my thoughts are, you know, and I just want to always be having a good time and feel in a good state of mind. Like I don't want to feel, you know, I don't want to feel. So I'm good, you know, I'm good. And yeah, she understood, guys. I remember she understood. Like she was really emotional, like she was crying. Obviously she didn't understand, but she understood, you know. She understood the circumstances, that this is really why I'm behaving this way. And also, instead of me being defensive about it, I was just like, I don't even know what to tell you, you know. I could have tried to lie, you know, like get my way around it, but I was literally just like, your mom, I don't know how to tell you. I'm drained. I don't know what you want me to say. So yeah, then every night, like she'd text me, she'd tell me like she can't sleep, she's checking up on me, you know, and I'd have to tell her, no mom, I'm fine, I'm still good, you know. So she'd check up on me now and again. And yeah, like, yo guys, my mom and I, like, she went through it. Like my entire family went through it with me. I will not dispute, they really did go through it with me, but like it really just felt like it's my mom and I versus the world, you know. Whatever I was feeling, she was feeling. Like I didn't even have to say anything, you know. Like she just had me, she had my back. I think like it was a thing of, if I was just to fall, she'd definitely be very quick to catch me without even me knowing that she's there to catch me, you know. Mothers are amazing. Mothers are such blessings, guys. So yeah, and then eventually she decided that, okay, let's go do therapy. So I started going to therapy, and I got you dumb. That was actually so violent of me. If you guys saw what I did, yeah, that was so violent. That was so violent. But anyway, guys, so where was I? Oh yeah, so I started going to therapy. So this was more towards the end of the first semester. I also remember like going to my classes. I didn't go to a lot of my classes because, guys, I was always trying to catch up. So I really did miss my classes. I remember there was a point where one of my lecturers was like, she just feels like I must just drop certain modules. I'm not gonna survive these modules. So one of them was like an optional module to do. So I dropped that one. Yeah, but she was just basically like, she thinks I should drop the 2 modules. She actually also thinks the HRD was like, she just thinks I should just drop out and start again next year. And that was in the beginning, like when I went back to school and I had appointments with all of them, and they were just giving me, directions on what to do, where to start, yeah, the HOD. And the one lecturer was like, they just feel like I should drop out, and just give myself time, because like I'm way, way, way behind and they don't know how I'm going to do it. So that really started on a discouraging note. But guys, my stubborn head was like, nobody's gonna tell me what to do. Nobody's gonna tell me that they think I can't do this. Like, who are you? Do you know me? Like, do you know me? Do you know, or did you know, or do you understand that anything and everything on this earth belongs to God, and therefore I'm entitled to it, and so God is going to make sure that I achieve it. So that was my attitude. Like, I was just like, listen, God really put me through something that really devastated me, and I know that he's gonna rock me and he's gonna carry me through this, so I'm not gonna listen to anyone. Like, please, so yeah. And then that's when things continued downhill, and I started drinking and everything, and then I went to therapy. So what I wanted to say, during my classes, whenever I go to class, like, I just feel like, oh my gosh, the people in class are just so antisocial. Like, why is everyone so awkward and antisocial? Because I'd like to think like I'm a social person, I'm not much of a quiet and not talkative person. Like, I really like talking to people. So anyway, guys, I just had to fix my lips. So as I was saying, like, I just felt like, I'm a social person. Like, I just felt like I'm a social person, so everyone's just like it's just weird. Not knowing through therapy, that's when I was like diagnosed like with depression and everything. And that's when I started realizing that, oh, all this time, like, I've been the problem. Like, me thinking, why is everyone so quiet? Why is everyone so antisocial? And it was just like, it's me, doll. Like, you are in your head. You have a lot going down. You are not yourself, So it's really not everyone. It really is you. And yeah, so I went to therapy, and during therapy, like, and I really want to say, guys, like, I fully recommend therapy. Like, I really fully recommend therapy. Therapy doesn't mean you're crazy. Therapy doesn't mean God is not there. Therapy is, for me, I feel like it's the physical way to deal with the physical things of this earth. God put these people there to help us navigate this life thing, without constantly being drained, or without being the worst versions of ourselves. That's how I see therapy, that really God put them there, because you're not really gaining much, but you're gaining a reflection of your own thoughts. You see what your mind looks like, and they just make you understand what your heart and what your mind is seeing and thinking, what it looks like. So for me, it just feels like therapists are like your reflection, and all they can do is just like guide you, give you tools to navigate your life. You decide whether you want to use them and how you want to use them in your life. So I think everyone should go to therapy, guys. After my therapy experience, I feel like even in future, if life knocks me down and brings me to a place where I'm not familiar with myself, I probably will go for therapy. Yes, prayer is everything, but like I said, God put these people here in the physical to help us navigate life in the physical. If we get overwhelmed, he gave them knowledge, a whole lot of knowledge, in order to help us apply certain things in our day-to-day. So I really think they're God sent. And so, like I said, therapy is not for crazy people. It doesn't mean you're crazy. It doesn't mean you have problems. And also, if you're depressed, it does not mean that you can't get out of it. Because, voila! Look at me! Come on. So it doesn't mean like you can get out of it. And I didn't know I was depressed, guys. So that's like always the wild part. Like, I was depressed. I thought everybody was having problems. I was the problem. Okay. So, therapy was really great. And during therapy, I realized that, okay, I think it's just time for me to go back home, go be with my family, because I thought being away from my family would help me forget the experience, would help me heal, would help them heal. but like it just made things worse, you know. So as soon as I got back home, guys, and I told my mom, I was like, yo mom, I think I just want to come back home. I don't want to do this thing anymore. I just want to be home. And as soon as I got home, guys, things started like being so much better. Like I was just so much happier. I think I even wanna cry, but I'm not gonna cry when I think about this. Like I literally felt my happiness come back, you know. I felt my strength come back. Like here's my support structure, you know. Here's my comfort, you know. Here's my strength, you know. Here's my safe space, like home, and my people at home. These people are my safe space. And to think that I really thought strangers who were my neighbors were my, you know, safe space, people that I just met a few months ago, you know. And it's those things that happen, guys. Like you, when you're not yourself, there's a lot of things that you entertain that are not you, you know. And that's just like life, and that's also how you see God. And that's how I felt. Like I felt like this is how God let this happen, and he let it happen this way, you know. And it reminds me of the story of Job. Like I felt like I was a Job this year. Like I was going through, like God just put me and he said, yeah, devil, go ahead, let's see how far you get, you know. But don't kill her, you know. And yeah, I am, and I can only but say like God really loves me, guys, and nothing will ever happen to me so long God is in my life and carrying me and holding me and living in me. Nothing will happen to me. I will fall, but I will get up. And that's our period. Flipping hell. So yeah, I just felt like, you know, that was something that I went through, but God got me, you know. So deciding to come back home and be with my family was the best thing ever. Also, I'll do a story time about the neighbors, guys. Something actually happened. I could not believe my mind. Like some people are just ghetto, okay. The things they do are ghetto. Like they are so ghetto. It's low. It's rock bottom low. Like it's like, girl, do better. Like love yourself. And it's so yuck, man. It's disappointing. It was so disappointing, but I will do it. I will do a story time, guys. I will really do a story time about that. But anyway, so yeah, I moved back home and things just started looking up. I was so excited about second semester, and second semester started, and the energy was different, you know. And you'd think it's the energy around the whole class, but the energy around me was different. My energy was different, you know. And that was just because I got to realize a lot. I realized that psychologically I wasn't okay, but now I'm doing really well. Things are looking really better. It's okay, you know. And I was just really excited about going back to school, guys. I felt like a grade 1 student going back to school, you know. I felt excited about going back to rebuild friendships, you know, and just like be in a good space and really just have everyone experience the happy, you know, and fun me, who just really makes silly jokes. And I just like people, you know. And like you can come to me anytime if you need anything. Like I've got you, you know. You're not my girl, but I got you, girl. You know, we're not girls like that, but I got you, girl. Okay, if you feel like you don't know who's got you, I've got you. I may not know you, but I got you, you know. So I was really excited about tapping back into that me, because that's who I am. And I felt like last semester that wasn't who I was, you know. So that's really when I was just like, oh God, thank you, you know. And I want to thank God for, number one, carrying me through that dark pit. Being in hospital, I think he had really prepared a lot of things already. He was allowing me to go through it, but he had prepared my support at the time. He had prepared the nurses. He had prepared the other patients coming in. He had prepared my spiritual grandmother, you know, the first lady, my mom, my dad. I don't think he had prepared my parents. Again, he didn't prepare my parents. Because yo, guys, my parents went through it. Yay, guys. Like, guys. Man. I don't even want to think about it. But he had prepared so many people around me at that time to really cushion me through everything that I was going through. So it was very easy to say, you know what, God, it's hard. It's really hard what's happening right now. It's difficult, but I know you're here. I can feel that you're here, you know, amidst everything, the evil spirits, the funny things that are going on around me. I can feel that you yourself are here, and that's enough. You know, just I feel like you're here, and that's all I need. Knowing that God is around is really sometimes all you need. You may not have your answers. You may not know how you're going to figure this out. You may not know how you're going to get out of it. You may not even see the brighter end of things. You may not see the light at the end of the tunnel. But just knowing, and even in your ignorance, the scripture says he's always there. So even if you feel like he's not there, the reality, the truth is, whether you want to accept it or not, he's there. And because he's there, you are fully protected, you are fully safe, you will not lose the battle, you will overcome it. You know, there's nothing that God puts for us, guys, that we cannot overcome. So in the time you really feel like I'm not overcoming this, but look, now it's almost the end of the year. It is the end of the year, and I'm like, damn, girl, you went through all of that, and you're here, and you look like this. What? You know, so that just shows the goodness of God and his faithfulness to his children. He's fully faithful. We may not always be faithful, but he is faithful all the time. And so for me, that time was just knowing that he's here is enough for me. I couldn't pray, but I knew that he knew my heart. You know, he lives in me. He knows my thoughts. He knows my heart, you know. So at that time, I really could not speak to him. The most I could say was, God, please be with me. Amen. That's all. God, you see beyond what I see. I need you. Amen. That's all. That's literally all I could take. I couldn't tell him what I need him for. I was just like, I need you. I'm not surviving. I'm not coping. It's difficult. I need you. You know, and he just figured out. He knew what I need him for and where I need him and why I need him. And he really came to the party. In my own capacity as an individual, I don't think I would have made it, you know. And that again is why I can only but glorify, thank God, is that I couldn't have made it without you. There's no way. There's no way. Even when I was like involved with the bad crowds, guys, and some of the things that I got up to, like, I couldn't have gone through all of that. I couldn't have been kept safe from all of that if it weren't for God. It couldn't be. There's no way, you know. So, man, Abba Father, to the King, to the one and the only, to the incredible, to the greatest, bro. You know, so, and finally after that, you know, my birthday came. This was around September now. School's going great. I finished school like late October. Late October. Yeah, late October. I finished. So beginning of October, I got to celebrate my birthday with like very close to small people. Yeah, like those moments, guys, for me were like really memories and moments that I will always hold on to, you know, that will always be like dearest to my heart. And yeah, like when it was springtime, the 1st of September, like that's when my whole life lit up, you know. And then girl gets into a relationship, and guy just like messes up, and girl leaves guy, and girl lives happily ever after. That was that. Pretty much that was that. What I learned from this year is that I shouldn't fight, you know, my battles for myself. I should let God fight them. God is going to the guys, my mom's calling me. Guys. Anyway, I forgot now what I was saying. But what I learned is I shouldn't fight my own battles, you know. I should know that God is going to fight these battles. He's going to give me the strength to overcome them while he fights them. He's going to give me the strength to stand firm and not listen to what anyone else is saying, but lead in his direction. You know, go where he says I must go. That's the only thing that matters. Whatever else anyone says, thank you for your opinion, but it's on God, you know. So that's the one thing that I learned. And the other thing that I learned is to forgive myself. I think the book of Ecclesiastes really reminds me a lot, or I think the emphasis in certain things. It teaches you how life is. Is it Ecclesiastes or Ephesians? I don't know, guys, one of the two. But it really made me realize that even the people in the Bible could speak of the challenges in life, the ups, the downs, the difficulties, the strange things, and through all of that, you need to forgive yourself, and you need to remember that you are a sinner naturally in flesh. That is what you were born to do. You were born into sin. If it weren't for Christ, we'd be speaking another thing. But that is our nature. But the goodness and the mercy of God really brings us out of that. But even when we make mistakes like that and life knocks us down and we really backslide and we go back on our commitment and our word with God, basically we become unfaithful to God. It's okay. It's not that it's okay, like as in do it willingly, but I couldn't have known that I was going to go through such, I didn't know that I was going to react to what I'm going through the way I did. I didn't know that psychologically I'd end up depressed. Like, guys, for the most time I was thinking I'm fine. I didn't know I had that. There's so many things that I was unaware of, and that just speaks to me being unaware of who I was at that time. And so it's important that you forgive yourself and understand that you're in the flesh, you're living in the world. There's a lot of things that are going to be difficult to face and to go through, and so when you go through certain things you never thought you'd do or you'd never thought you'd get into, forgive yourself. Things that you feel like this is not who I am, understand that the enemy really put a trap there for you, and sometimes you're not strong enough to overcome what you think you would, but eventually God puts them there as a lesson. God puts them there to bring you closer to him. God allows those things to happen because he knows in the end it's going to bring you closer to him, and it's going to bring you to a place where all you want to do is glorify his name and see his greatness and see his incredible love for his children. So I really forgave myself, and I think I didn't even have to think once, like, God, please forgive me. I really could feel like I'm really forgiven for the things that I did, and I really felt like, oh man, I'm literally God's little princess, guys, and no matter what, he's always going to be faithful to me. And no matter if the devil throws me under the fire, he knows I'm going to always choose him. And that's why he allows the enemy to test me, because he knows I'm always going to get up and I'm going to be like, I'm still about my God. If you drop me again, I'm going to get up and I'm going to still tell you about my God. Period. So that's really what I learned, and that's like what I could take from this year. And another thing I think is that friends, it's very important to see life shows you your friends. Oh guys, another thing that happened this year was my business. Okay, I'm an entire businesswoman, entrepreneur in the making. Period. Started that, and the best thing I could do was start. It's still not where I wanted to be, but I started, and that for me, like, I'm happy, proud of myself. So yeah, guys, overall this year wasn't the easiest, wasn't the prettiest, but I think it just made my relationship with God so beautiful. It just made it so deep and far more greater than what it would have been had this year not happened the way it did. I've been blessed abundantly through everything that's happened this year, and that's why I feel like I will not take it back. I will not press reset at all. It just makes me excited about 2023, that there's like a different kind of power and strength in me that can't be defeated, and that's just because of what God allowed me to go through this year, so it's been great. It's been Gucci 2022. You've been too, no, I was about to say, you've been too good. It was not good. It was not good. Okay, I'm lying. Sure, I'd be lying, but 2022, we did it, girl. We did it. We made it. Yeah, guys, that brings me to the end of this video. I actually thought I was going to do a part 2, but I don't think I'll do a part 2. I'll just upload this entire video. Sorry if it's long, child. please watch it till the end. I'll see you guys in my next video. Furthermore, guys, take care of yourselves. God bless you, and goodbye.